video. I appreciate everybody that went and subscribed and checked out my first video. That was pretty cool. Yeah, if you haven't already, go ahead and do it. Subscribe right now if you want to. You can wait to the end. It don't matter. But let's jump into this. You know, you already know this Addo He. Yeah, so I titled this one Self-Hate Survivor. You know already. I titled it that because I am a self-hate survivor. And anybody watching this video is going to be a self-hate survivor because self-hate is real. And sometimes we don't even know that we're dealing with it, you know? So we're going to figure out how to identify it. We're going to figure out how to deal with it, how to handle it, how to fix it at the root so that we don't have to worry about that no more, so that we can actually progress the way we need to and actually unblock things that are blocking our manifestation, give us a much more clear mind and understanding about everything too. So, a little bit about myself. You know, I grew up, let's say I was born into this realm into the 80s, in the 80s. And yeah, that was the era where, you know, if you was kind of dark, you was the ugly duckling. You was ugly. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was. You were ugly back then if you were too dark or whatever. So I played the role of the ugly duckling is what I'm trying to say. And I'm trying to show you something because it does start as early as childhood. But I got treated certain kind of ways. People used to make fun of my lips because they was big, call me fish lips, all kind of shit. It actually gotten to the point to where it was so bad for me, the way I felt I was being treated and things like that. I was like, man, I don't even want to be me. I was wishing and hoping I was somebody else one day. I even used to think, or not think, I even used to wish I was Caucasian. That's how much I hated myself. So anybody that does not believe that self-hate is real, it's real. You know, and that how we feel about ourselves actually pours out onto other people. And that's the part that we don't realize, because to us it's the norm. Not realizing that it may be the norm to us, but we're actually pouring that out on somebody else that's not used to that. You know what I'm saying? Or that are used to that, but in their own fashion. So, yeah. So growing up, you know what I'm saying, I really grew to hate myself. I had even gotten so comfortable with hating myself that I would tell people like, yeah, I already know I'm ugly, but I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm ugly. I can still do what I need to do. And that's what I used to tell people all the time. Not realizing that I was speaking that over myself. Not realizing that I was creating that image of myself in their eyes because I thought that and felt that and spoke that about myself. You get what I'm saying? Dealt with a lot of, dealt with a lot of racism too. You know, just a bunch of stuff that really made me hate myself. And I'm gonna tell you the truth as to why it got as far as me hating myself the way it did was because I didn't know myself. I didn't know myself other than what was told to me in a book somewhere. You know, whether it was, I was born in, or raised in Christianity. I was in school. School didn't teach me that I wasn't a slave. School taught me that I was a slave. Didn't tell me that I was a king or God or anything magnificent. So I didn't know. So all that not knowing and then that being mixed with what everybody else doing, it's just like, well, shit. You know, not to mention the stuff on TV that they put in front of us to stereotype us and then cause us to be proud of what we're stereotyped by, versus realizing that it's negative. It's a negative kind of whatever. You know what I'm trying to say, but it's negative towards us, and it programs us. It programs us. It teaches us to hate ourselves. It teaches us to put ourselves into positions, or when we get in positions like that, of the position that we have been enticed by, that's a masked form of self-hate, we begin to choose to operate in that, thinking that that's the right way, thinking that that's cool because we've seen it on our favorite show or something on TV. Self-hate is being engineered everywhere. It's being engineered in all aspects. And so, like I said, when I was mentioning earlier about how it starts to pour into people and things, we start talking shit about each other. We start hating on each other. The next one of us that we see, and this is a way to identify it too. You know what I'm saying? We go out on the street, we see the next person that look like us, and we hating. We got something to say. We got something to say. We got some reason to hate. We firing their ass up. Like, oh, look at that old busted ass. You know what I'm saying? We all up in that shit. Like, for real. Hating on each other. That right there is the first sign to yourself that you're dealing with some self-hate. Yeah. If you can't go out in public and respect who who looks like you, just like you would want to be respected, go out there, like, whether it's the same sex or the opposite sex, be like, yo, what's good? Opening doors and shit. Like, look, we in here. You feel me? That's, what I'm saying? That's how you start to turn that around. Instead of being out there like, oh, man, look at that kind of shoes, man. Because you don't know that person's story. And they've been going through some shit just like you done gone through some shit. And I'm pretty sure when you was going through shit, you ain't want nobody firing your shoes up or firing up whatever they firing up about you because they was in over self-hate bougie mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. That's self-hate, man. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so like I said, in the military, dealt with what I dealt with. Dealt with failed relationships, 2 failed marriages. You know what I mean? There's some stuff caused me to hate myself. Like, damn, what is it about me? You know what I'm saying? That's what it'll do. You know what I'm saying? You may have lost somebody that you felt like you should, that was lost too soon. Grandparent, parent, friend, or whatever. So many things. You may feel guilty about it. There may have been some, childhood traumas that may have happened to you. Anything that's just making you feel like you less than. All that is a form of self-hate. And the thing about it is, it's cool. I see that we open up and we speak about it. But if we open up and speak about it, let's speak about it with the intent to heal. Because that's how you fix the whole self-hate aspect. That's how you overcome that self-hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of reasons why we hate ourselves. And I know y'all heard the term that they say we are our worst critics, right? That's because we criticize ourselves out of the self-hate that we have for ourselves. You see what I'm saying? We have so much self-hate for ourselves that we do criticize ourselves in the most negative way. Sometimes, some of the times it's just wanting to be a perfectionist, but other times it's really stemming from a space of self-hate. Because once you realize that once you stop criticizing yourself, that's when you begin to take the limits off yourself. You have to start criticizing yourself. Yeah, we can make judgment calls, but stop criticizing yourself, because chances is 9 times out of 10, I want to say almost 10 times out of 10, the reason why we criticizing ourselves the way that we do is because of the thoughts of other people. You see what I'm saying? It's the thoughts like, oh, so I don't want people to think that I'm this. Oh, I don't want people to think that I'm that. Oh, I don't. And it's always got something surrounding somebody else. So are we really doing it for us? Are we really self-loving ourselves the way we feel like we authentically feel to be self-loved? Or is the love that we have for ourselves based on the thoughts of others? You see what I'm saying? Still dealing with some self-hate up in there. Still dealing with it. It's deeper than that. Because once you truly love yourself, you're not going to allow your life to be governed by, the thoughts of others. Like right now, I only have my crystal pieces on. I feel naked right now. I ain't got my jewelry on, none of that, because I'm used to having that on. I feel it though. It's still up in there. But anyways, like, I don't care. I didn't come on here to look pretty. I didn't come on here to dress up. I'm out here grounding right now. Bare feet. It's a little wet out here. It's moist. It's feeling good. It's not about all that extra shit. It's about how I feel about myself. And it should be about how you feel about yourself. But I'm not saying go out here and just be crazy and all this other kind of, dumb shit. You got to do the self-work first. You got to heal. So this is how you can begin to jumpstart your healing as far as from self-hate. All right? You never loved anything that you didn't know. Okay? You didn't just walk out your house one day and it's like, you know what? I love whatever that is over there around the corner and up the block and then, on the other way that I don't even know. I love it or whatever, whoever. You see what I'm saying? You didn't say that, and you don't do that. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is, how can you truly love yourself if you don't truly know yourself? So by knowing yourself and finding out who you are, who you are to you and who you are to this realm, that right there gives you something to love about yourself. Because when you find that information out, it's not going to be something not to love. It's going to be something to love. And you're going to love it because you're going to be like, wow, this is me. This is who I am. Like, I done found my true self. This is me right here. Shit. Dang. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the? And you're going to love the hell out of yourself. You're going to love you. And when you do, what happens when you get excited? What do people do? Like they hit the lotto. They get excited and shit, and they running all over the place, and they just like, oh man, you're going to be like that about yourself when you find your true self. And it's going to show because you're going to be treating everybody, hey, peace, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be speaking to anybody and everybody. You're going to show any and everybody love. Because that's how much you love yourself. That's a reflection of how much you love yourself. You get what I'm saying? So if you out there, and it's nothing soft about that. It's nothing weak about that. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing saying that, oh, you're less than a person because you show them love. You know what I'm saying? And you decide to show them love. It's a humbling act, and it's a powerful act. When you truly love yourself and you start to, strip yourself from this self-hate, you're going to do some things. And I'm going to come back to that because I want to tell you how to do it. Because I want to go back to self-criticizing. When you go back to your self-criticizing, what I was saying about that is you're doing that off of your own insecurities as well. And we all have our own insecurities about ourselves for whatever reason. And the reality of that is, don't nobody know. Don't nobody know what they are. They may know that you might have some insecurity, but don't nobody know what you have. So, or what your insecurity is. You get what I'm saying? So, my bad. It's funny, you know what I'm saying? It's insecurity. So, it's called insecurity. So those things that we feeling funny about ourselves, that we hate about ourselves, is coming from within. You see what I'm saying? And so what happens is when somebody infringes on one of our insecurities and they don't know, what is it we do? We lash out. We snap like what you mean? What is that? What you mean by that? What you trying to say? What you trying to say? You get what I'm saying? So they infringe on that, not even knowing that, because it's something that we're dealing with within ourselves. Self-hate. You get what I'm saying? It's that self-hate. So this is how you do it. You go in. Alright? Go within yourself. Which means you would have to stand in front of a mirror, look at yourself. I would prefer looking in front of the mirror versus, sitting and looking at a picture of yourself, or that might work too. But take a moment to look at yourself, because chances is when you start to look at yourself, you're going to look at everything that you hate about yourself, and you're going to look at everything that you love about yourself. You're going to transparently in your mind start thinking about that on your own. It just happens. It's like, damn, I look good. Whoa, hang on. Well, I wish I did this. I could have had that on a little better, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? You would be like that. You would be in the mirror like, damn, all right, this is cool, but I don't like the way this fitting right here. I'm going to go ahead and, you'll do that because there's things about you that you love, and there's things about you that you hate. So when you move those things to the side that you love about yourself, and you focus on those things that you hate about yourself, how can you love these things about yourself too? You feel me? How can you love yourself about you? What about these things can you make or look at, and how can I love myself based on these things that I don't love myself? So you first, since you got the list of what you done wrote as far as, or you got your list in your head as far as what it is that you hate about yourself, give yourself many reasons, as many reasons as possible, why you should love yourself because of this. And that's where that healing starts, because once you start doing that, you just laid yourself out a guideline. You get what I'm saying? A guideline to how you can start loving yourself better. Because you already got this part mastered. All this stuff over here that you already love about yourself, you got that mastered. You feel me? So now you got to try and master these two. So when you master these two right here, you love yourself. And there's going to be nothing to get in the way of how much you love yourself. And you're going to want other people to love themselves the way that you do, because it's not fun being on that vibe by yourself. So start showing people how to love themselves too. But you got to love yourself first. You know what I'm saying? But start showing them how to love themselves too, and let's start showing each other how to love each other, because that right there is what's gonna produce that unity that we need. First, we gotta love ourselves enough to know that, okay, look, I'm good, they good, we all good, we all winning. So yeah, do that list. Once you do that list, like I said, you got that guideline. So every day, when something in that list pops up, your answer should pop out to it too. And you be like, you know what? And it's just like catching yourself. Like people trying not to curse or say curse words. You know what I'm saying? When you trying not to anymore and stuff, or when you trying not to do whatever you doing, right before you do it, you catch yourself. Or after you do it, you be like, dang. But that's you practicing on not doing it. So that's the same thing. As you start to see those things where you don't like yourself, or with those things that you hate about yourself, and you start catching yourself and replacing and removing and replacing it with the answers of everything why you should love yourself, watch what happens, yo. Watch what happens. That's gonna be dope. That's gonna be fire. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of y'all do that actually. But yeah, that's how you do it, man. And like I said, it's just gonna pour out into everybody's lives that you want to touch, and it's just gonna produce a whole new realm of self-love. You know, I was stuck. Like I said, I was in Christianity and shit. And I hated myself. I was too busy. I hated myself so much, and I had put so much faith in this, God or whatever. And I'm just like, man, okay, what about it? What about this makes me so important? Like, I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. It's like, dang, everything's about everything else, and all it is a bunch of rules telling me that I'm this and I'm that, and I'm just trying to figure out, okay, but what's so important about being, bound by certain rules and bound by whatever it was that was telling me that I was like a filthy rag? Like, what was the point? Or how can something love me so much but see me only as a filthy rag? So yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. And so I'm not gonna lie, I dug so hard up in that I found my way out. And that's how I began to love myself. Once I began to come in light and I started finding out the truth about, who I was, where my bloodline, where we actually come from, that I'm really not just some slave, then that right there is what really, I'm like, yo, I'm really important. I started finding out about, melanin and everything, and how much it was worth a gram. I'm like, yo, you mean tell me I'm really worth that much? And then things just started clicking in my head. I used to sit out in the sun, and that's another way to really jumpstart some of that too, because that sun is really, really good for you. You sit out there, it definitely get you where you need to. People thought I was crazy. I started to get on this journey of loving myself and knowing myself. I used to sit out in the sun and eat my food. And people thought I was crazy because, we in Texas. That sun hot, yo. We burning up. Look, my hair turned color on my arm and everything. But yeah, for real. So they thought I was crazy, but what it was doing, it was really pushing me into everything that I needed to. So yeah, I encourage you to sit out there. Really, just sit out there. Even if you don't know why, just sit out there. As long as you ain't burning up, you feel me? And when I mean burning up, I mean getting like sunburn and stuff like that. I don't get sunburn. But anyways, yeah. But that's how you love yourself. You know what I'm saying? And when I did that and I started loving myself more, it just made that much more sense. It made that much more sense. You're not gonna accept certain things anymore, and it's not gonna be from a hate perspective. There's gonna be things in your life that you don't want to accept because you love yourself too much to accept those. Y'all might see Carpet in the back. He running around. Yeah, he clowning. But yeah, all that. I started doing that, and things just started changing. I stopped accepting things that I didn't want to accept from people. And you'll start doing that. You'll stop accepting things that you don't want to accept from people, and you'll start receiving and accepting things that you should have, accepted from people. Your life will just turn around. It's all a thought process. It's really a thought process as well, which you already know from the last video. When you think it, you're going to produce it. So that whole list, like I told you about, as you think of all the reasons why you should love yourself, you're going to start producing it because you're manifesting it here first. You feel me? But yeah, I really went from hating myself to loving myself. I started falling in love with my dark skin. I was like, yo, my skin, I'm fine as shit. Now, that's not being cocky or nothing like that. I promise I'm not being cocky. This is coming from somebody who never thought he was shit just coming from somebody who never knew that he wasn't as ugly as everybody, made me out to be. I didn't know that. I thought I was as ugly as everybody made me out to be. And I made myself out to be even ugly. So now that I've healed myself and I come to the space where I can love myself, when I say, hey, I'm fine as shit, I'm not saying that I'm not just out here being cocky. No, that's me showing myself love. I gotta remind myself, like, yo, you really do look good. And it's not a physical thing. It's part physical, but you know what I'm saying? For the most part, it's internal. Because as I do that, I feel that about myself. When I tell myself that I look good, I feel that about myself. When I tell them, I'm like, damn, man, I'm fine as shit. And you gotta do that to yourself sometimes. You gotta do that, and you gotta feel that about yourself. Once you start to do that, instead of looking at yourself like, damn, man, I'm tired of this everyday life. I'm here, I gotta go there, blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, sometimes it'll take your mind like, look, but you good. Like, you the shit. You the shit. Don't even worry about it. You got this. It just gives you a whole new outlook on life, too. Because if you're focusing on the things that you love about yourself, you got less time to focus on the things that you hate about yourself. You feel me? That's really what it is. But anyways, this video getting kind of long, so I might do another segment because I'm trying to keep them a little short. But I do appreciate y'all listening, and I hope that y'all got something out of this video. Like I said, stand in that mirror, find out what you need to find out, start writing out what you need to write out, and start thinking about that there, and start replacing those negatives with those positives. That's why those negatives shouldn't be negatives. Alright, so if you haven't already, subscribe, because I know that button gonna be like right down there somewhere. Go ahead, subscribe, leave me a comment if you liked it. If you got any questions, I'm cool with the questions. You got any topics that you want to hear, look, I'm with it. Y'all with it? I'm with it. I'll answer it the most authentic way that I can for myself to give, new perspective. All right, I appreciate y'all time. Love y'all. Peace.